Anime Summit, Episode 33.
Ooh, fembots. Do they have machine gun jubblies like in Austin Powers?
Hello and welcome to Anime Summit Podcast. I'm Quokka. With me, I have Mac.
This is episode 33, isn't it?
Sam.
I'm a better death metal singer than Quokka. He doesn't know shit.
And Nick.
When life gets you down, boobies get you up again.
Wasn't that
It's not as funny. I know it wasn't as funny the second time, but shit, we got to re-record. So, dude, blame Quokka, man. You guys could have at least fake laughed. Come on. I'm not rewriting my script here.
All right.
So later in this episode, we'll be talking about, was it Cyborg, 009, GoldenEye, and Space Dandy.
GoldenEye.
He's
And
a dandy
Space
guy
Dandy.
in space.
Yeah, Mac, the reason why I didn't intro with the episode number is because I always put an intro before the intro that has the episode number, and I realized that was stupid to double up. It took me 33 episodes to realize that
Don't
was
worry,
really
though.
stupid.
I still got it.
So what have you guys been up to this last week?
I've been watching Sound of the Sky, or Sora no Woto, whatever, in Japanese. It's pretty good.
How's that been going?
It's like Aria, but not quite as good as Aria. Slice of life. They got like the same exact character set, so there's 5 girls and like one of each type. So I'm just like, oh, kind of the same show. Would recommend though. I might do a show pitch of that eventually.
Nice. I've been working on our templates and stuff for YouTube. So this will actually be our first episode that'll be up on YouTube proper. You guys can go to yt.animesummit.net to check it out. Like, favorite, subscribe, and all that stupid
YouTube
bullshit.
proper? Is that like YouTube only for English people?
I just mean that it's going to be like good. It's going to be good on YouTube, not just like...
proper?
I mean, it's actually going to look good and not just be Google Hangouts slapped up onto YouTube. Because that's just
do
annoying.
that, dude. Just do it. But what you got to add to the front of it without stuttering like that? You got to add like 20 seconds of just the title, so people are like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's the Wadsworth constant. Make the first part of your video utterly pointless.
Always. Why wouldn't we?
Y'all stupid. Y'all stupid.
We also put in our application for a panel for Naka-con
Shaka Khan.
in Kansas City in 2 months. Is like the last weekend of March, right?
Something like that.
Hopefully we'll get accepted to that, and we'll get to talk about Animu and how Animu is killing Animu fans.
Wait, was that
Animu.
the topic or what? I don't even know what the topic was.
Nick,
Don't worry about it, Nick.
you were in the conversation every single time we talked about it.
It's okay.
Yeah,
Nick.
but
Don't worry your
I
little,
wasn't reading it though.
Don't worry your little mind about it. We'll handle it. It's okay. Just go back to your hole.
All right,
And give good
I'll
shows
just dance like a
shitty
clown
scores,
at the panel.
and then give shitty shows good scores. Everything will be okay.
Dude, prison school, anime of the year,
No. But
No.
whatever.
obligatory prison school reference.
And I dyed my hair blue yesterday. Looks sexy as fuck. I
And
know.
he's blue. Dabba-dee-dabba-da.
Psalm's hard.
I am.
So none of the rest of you did anything this last week?
Partied.
I mean, I don't know. Tennessee's actually getting winter weather, so I mean, having to
Okay.
deal with that.
Here in
And they
Minnesota,
get the first pick in the
dude.
NFL draft.
No, last fucking week, dog. It was, and this past weekend in Minnesota was like 4 degrees, of a high of 4, high of 3 maybe, with a low of like -6. I think it was
That's
like negative.
dope.
No, the
think it
wind
was
chill is the wind chill is -20. I had to work outside part of the time.
Well,
That's
that's what. Yeah,
dope.
it was like a feel like with the wind chill, it made it feel like that. But anyway, today it was like 30-some degrees out. I was going to the beach. I was like, I'm going to the fucking beach. Fuck all y'all. It is warm as shit outside. I had my windows down on the way to work and everything. It was baller.
Wow.
Wow.
Dude, it did
It's
feel
like
really warm
60
today.
here, and I'm like,
15
it's
degrees.
cold. I need to put a shirt on.
I need to put a shirt on. That's because you're a bitch.
I mean, He does live in California.
And I spent a year and a half living on a tropical island.
Tropical
where it
island,
was
man.
95, but felt like 130 degrees.
I'm gonna tell you one thing, man.
Oh, is it a wet heat?
Oh, yeah. Okinawa's humid as fuck. It's like the air is more water than it is air.
Okinawa is like the Jamaica of Japan, dog.
More like the Hawaii of Japan, but...
Well, Hawaii's got Japanese people.
Don't you know,
Hawaii's
like,
got
that's where they all go on, like, their spring breaks and stuff. Like, in
You know those
Evangelion,
beach
they're
episodes?
like, Okinawa.
Those beach episodes where they travel, to a beach? Yeah, they go to Okinawa.
Well, not every beach episode,
They
but
do.
the ones where they make a
Every
big,
single
like, spring
one.
break type trip.
They
always
did
go
that
to
on
Okinawa. Like,
Assassination Classroom from this season.
yeah,
Are you talking
and
about Keion, or are you talking about Keion?
And Ananatsu Damataru
Keion?
go to Okinawa.
Like literally any anime, pretty much.
It's a big deal. Girls
Not
go there
Space
to pick
Dandy,
up
though.
white guys.
to pick up white guys.
What?
Oh, pick up
America
all the
owns
white
like
people?
half the island, if not more.
Oh, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, there's lots of white people in Okinawa. They just never show them in the anime.
Yeah, that's why, like, in Karate Kid, the second part, when they go to Okinawa, there's like all these American air bases everywhere and shit. And
There's even an airbase on Kadena. There is
they mention in Karate Kid Part 2, Kadena Air Base.
on Air Force Base Kadena. There is next to where the Raptors are in their hangars, the F-22 Raptors. There's one building that has the Batman logo on top of it.
What?
You can see it on Google Maps.
Google map it right now.
Or if you're in Space Dandy, it's Google Maps.
Link in the
Google
show notes.
Galaxy
That kind of
View?
blows my mind.
Yeah,
I just
Batman's
love how
got a
in-
base in Japan, and he's got Raptors.
I love how in Space Dandy they have a thing called Google Galaxy Street View. It's so fucking dumb.
That's awesome.
They're like the Google Empire.
I need to watch that show.
You should.
Yeah, I'll tell you more about it later on.
Oh my god.
So how about we get into the meat of this show?
How about we get into waifu of the week?
Oh yeah, let's roll waifu. Let's roll
No,
waifu and then we'll get into the beef.
didn't
We
already-
rolled
we rolled
yesterday.
it.
We already
Yeah,
picked
yeah.
her.
It's the first one, right?
Is she
Yeah,
some, is
due to-
she hot?
due to
Is she
some
hot?
It was the
technical
first one that I'd
difficulties.
ever put onto the list, and we never got her yet.
Or if we did,
so
we
sad.
fucking forgot. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
It's my girl
things
Yoko
happen.
Littner from Littner Village.
From Gurren Lagann. Tenga Toppa.
Tenga
Gurren
Toppa
Lagann.
Gurren Lagann.
I was just remember Gurren Lagann and can never remember the first
How
part.
can my giant super robot
Topping
possibly be this
Tenga.
cute?
You ever had Topper's Pizza? That shit sucks.
I've never even heard of Topper's Pizza.
It's up here in Minnesota. It sucks.
Okay, good to know, Sam. I just won't eat it then.
Don't eat it. Anyway,
Hey, Yoko's that
Don't
girl
do
with
it,
the
bro.
badass sniper rifle. She fucks
I
shit
still
up.
gotta finish. I've never finished that anime.
What?
Dude, you know what I did, Sam? I watched like half of it, like when it came out. And then this past year, I finished it.
Yeah, like
It was good. Like-
when I first got Netflix,
You
when I
chilled?
went, the first thing I did was go to the anime section, and I started watching it. I watched like 3 episodes, and then I kind of just forgot about it.
No, like I watched it in 2008 when it came out, or whenever it was.
Yeah,
And
no, it was
they only had like 12 or 16 episodes that were finished, at least subtitled or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just stopped and then I forgot about it. And then I'm like, oh shit, I never finished that show.
No, when I started watching, I got Netflix like in 2012 or 11 or something, and that's when I started watching.
And the
it.
dub is not that bad. It's pretty good.
It's actually not.
Whoa, Coca said it wasn't shit.
I've said
just
plenty
do
of dubs aren't that bad.
Dude, I could have watched the dub, but I watched the sub only because of the Rugrats YouTube spoof. Have you guys ever seen that? Where Stu is making pudding in the morning, or he's making 4 a.m. pudding or whatever. And Dee Dee's like, "What are you doing, Stu?" And he's like, "I've lost control of my life." But he's got like the Gurren Lagann glasses on. And then he's like fighting Angelica, and he like throws the pudding at her, and they do like the drills that pierce the heavens. And it's like, and then they got the grandpa, and he's like, 15 miles. It's like this huge explosion.
Well, fun fact,
But that's why I watched it in
fun
subtitles.
fact,
I wanted to hear the
Squidward
Japanese
is
yelling.
in Gurren Lagann.
What?
Squidward
It
from
is?
SpongeBob is in Gurren Lagann.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know this?
I didn't know
He's
that.
in
No.
I can't remember the guy's name, but the one Beastman pilot that like is their big enemy throughout the show, like the opposing
Beastman
pilot,
pilot.
not the big baddie, but the other Beastman
Beastman.
pilot.
Oh yeah,
In his
I know what you
cockpit,
mean.
Squidward's in there one time.
Squidward.
Squidward.
It's awesome.
I can do this.
Squidward.
I can do that laugh. Let's
You
laugh.
either-
Ready?
There's basically nothing
You know what they
more
say?
epic than Gurren
You either
Lagann
die
in
a
all of anime.
SpongeBob or you live long enough to be a Squidward.
That's true. Freaking yeah. No, let's get into the beef. Yeah.
Get into the beef.
Let's cut into this beef right quick. This rare
The
beef.
steak.
So Nick's gonna talk about Space Dandy. I'm gonna talk about the classic that is Cyborg 009.
All right.
GoldenEye.
Are you going?
Paint us a picture, Sam.
Cyborg 009. So the one I'm specifically gonna pitch, okay, because it was created by Shotaro Ishinomori. Let me redo that. Hold on. Shotaro Ishinomori.
There we go. That felt badass.
In 1966, he started drawing and writing writing the comics, and then he had other writers do it. It appeared in magazines and a bunch of shonen magazines, including Weekly Shonen Jump, which is shitty because Shonen Jump sucks.
It's just called the Weekly Jump.
No, there's Weekly Shonen magazine, and then there's Weekly Jump, Shonen Jump magazine. I was looking it up yesterday. Shut up. Then there came an anime series, the first one, which was right after, almost not even a year or after he had been doing the comics, a black and white anime series that came out in '68. That one was just called Cyborg 009. Then they redid it when color TV was a big thing in 1979.
Did it age well?
I did watch a couple of the black and white episodes last night. I see it. That's really hard for me. That's hard to ask me because I love the old
You
stuff.
just
a
love
lot.
old people.
Nick makes fun of me all the time. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna talk about some '90s shit."
Now he's talking about some
Yeah.
50s shit.
Yeah.
Throw a dart at a board of 90 shows.
But I didn't watch any of I watched some of the first episode of the '79 one, and that one is kind of lame. If you're gonna go old school, just watch the black and white one because it's black and white and cooler. Because they're basically the same thing.
But when
And
you
I
have the
think they just
color
tried-
on it, it looks kind of stupid because it looks more modern, but still.
Well, no,
Old.
it's like they tried too harder. Tried too harder. It's like they tried too hard when they did the '79 version because they were like, okay, now we got color and we have better writers, so let's do some crazy shit. And it was just kind of like, stop, you know what I mean? So I'm not really gonna talk about that one, and then I'll get into current stuff that they've done in the past couple years later. But Cyborg 009, the Cyborg Soldier, is the one I'm gonna talk about, which is the reboot they did in 2001. I'm on Mal right now, and I can't find the studio that did it, but the same animators were the people who did the Android Kikaider the animation, which I think I pitched a while back. It's kind of got that old school style to it, art style to it, which I really like. It was created by Shotaro Ishinomori, and the guy who did the animation and that style is named let me find it. Anyway, Cyborg 009 is about 9 ordinary humans who are captured by the organization Black Ghost, and they have all these experiments done on them to kind of, I think, for the advancement of mankind. They were doing tests on them to make them superhuman, to do this, to do that, and then when their bodies started deteriorating, they turned them into cyborgs so they could continue the experiments. But then they became limited, so then they were gonna scrap them anyway because they weren't all human. But anyway,
But what happens when their brain starts to deteriorate?
I have no idea. He preserved them somehow because they still have their brains.
No,
they're
dude,
cyborgs.
they just gotta take out the USB drive and fucking give them a new brain, right?
Something like that.
Like on Plastic
No,
Memories.
they just got to turn it off and then turn it back on again. Just reboot the system.
Just reboot.
Just reboot the system. It'll all be
Sir,
okay.
have you tried turning it off and then back on?
But that's
again?
my heart.
Oh, dude, they get blackjack to surgery them. That's what happens.
Yeah, dude, blackjack.
I finished Young
surgery
Blackjack
them?
earlier in the year.
To surgery.
Yeah, he surgeries them.
Surgery them.
Sounds like perjury.
Surgery.
I'm gonna surgery this thing
Dude, but
tonight.
they have blackjack and this one have the same style or the same animation character
I
design,
think
kind
that's-
of really fucking goofy haircuts and big noses.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I think Blackjack might have been. Oh no, Blackjack was Go Nagai.
Blackjack's had a bunch of different ones, I think, but they recently in the fall season had
That new one, that's right.
Yeah, maybe it was Summer, but anyway.
You're referring to like the OG one though. I feel you. But
no, the new one too. The new one even had the weird style.
Oh, really? That's legit. But yeah, Cyborg 009. There's more than 9 of them, but the 4 after the 9th one are like they're bad guys and they still work for the Black Ghost organization. But so from 001 to 009, each one has like their own ability. They have a past and they still remember like their history and stuff, and so it's like kind of fucked up. So when they wake up, they're like, oh well, fuck, like I have my life is gone, my parents are probably dead, some crazy shit, it's kind of messed up in that sense. But so like each of them has like a power, and like mind you, this was written in the 60s, so the powers seem kind of like, oh, like that's just whatever, but 001 is like a baby, which is really weird, but like he can talk telepathically so they can understand him. He was made into a cyborg when he was like 1 or 2 years old. And then 002 is like he can fly. He's like the only cyborg who can fly. He's got jets in his boots, but he can like accelerate the speed and handle like the high altitude and junk. And then anyway,
why wouldn't
then
they
there's
give
other
everybody
ones,
jet boots?
Wait, how did he solve the icing problem?
What?
You ever seen Iron Man?
You never seen Iron Man?
Oh, like he gets cold because he's high up. Dude, my question is what in Dragon Ball Z when they were teaching Videl how to fly and she's like, my eyes are sensitive. They never addressed that early in the series.
Well, dude, it's rough when you're going even not that fast and you have wind going straight into your eyeballs.
Dude, even just driving on the street.
Or when you're driving a convertible going in the highway.
You're on your motorcycle.
The rest of them have powers. Like one guy's got super strength, but it's like super duper strength. And then like the main character 009, he's got this accelerator thing in his mouth, so he just bites down on it, and then he can go super fast, like to the point where it looks like everyone's just kind of standing still, which is really cool. But the Cyborg Soldier, the first time I watched it was on Toonami, and that's when I watched it. And then when Toonami wasn't a thing anymore, and when I got older, I rewatched it probably like 3 or 4 years ago. And I think this time around, with the 2001 version, the one I'm pitching, they were able to properly fit all of like the arcs from the comic, so it made sense, kind of, so like they were like, okay, we're gonna put this one here, obviously because that's the beginning, and then we're gonna put this one here and this one here, and whatever. And after they take down Skull, which is like the leader of Black Ghost, there's like other arcs where they fight these cyborgs called the Mythos cyborgs, where they're based off of Greek gods. So there's like Artemis and Hermes and
Hermes.
That raises questions.
He's in Secco Boys.
That raises further questions.
Oh my god. Okay, and then there's Apollo and all them. So then he was created by this doctor named Dr. Gaia, and he,
of course,
he like puts like he raises them to believe that they're actually the gods from this time. So they try and destroy the world by destroying mankind and rebirthing it. Like, oh no, humans are stupid, so I'm gonna kill everyone and reborn the world, and I'm gonna be the god of the world, and I'm gonna be the shit.
Oh, that sounds like a certain other show that rhymes with Shmee Van Schmelian.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what you kind of have to like. You kind of have to be mindful.
No, I mean that story is pretty played. I mean, everybody's done that. It's
like
really unique,
it's almost like an archetype at this point.
Sounds like Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, it sounds like fucking Nietzsche Bros, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta
right?
kind of be mindful of it, like when you're watching it, because with the 2001 version, the Cyborg Soldier, they kind of
emphasize those points.
They wanted to be more truer to the manga than the 80s version was, or there was a film in the 80s that came out too that was kind of way off base, and then there was another film that came after that was like a continuation of the ending, and it turned out to be kind of dumb because the ending was really cool. The Cyborg Soldier does that ending, which is awesome. But anyways, like, they all got their personalities and stuff, and the characters are pretty cool. It's got that old school style to it. I really like it. I really love Android Kakaider, so I'd really love Cyborg 009. Like, I love
so if
that.
you like,
I like that old school robot shit.
Wasn't there like
if you like
a spin-off type show called like One of 009?
That was by the same animator and the same creator did that, and it was called 0091, and it's actually not the same universe, which is really weird because I thought it was, but it is the same style and same kind of like
a spiritual successor.
Yeah, something like that. And I think they thought it was going to turn into something, but it wasn't very good from what I heard.
Doesn't that one have female robots?
It's just one girl named Mylene Hoffman.
Ooh, fembots.
Definitely an improvement.
They have machine gun jubblies like in Austin Powers.
Jubblies?
How did I miss those, baby?
Wow.
Yeah, her name is Mylene Hoffman, and she's 0091. And people thought it was the same, but it's actually not, which is really weird. But that's a different thing. I'm not gonna whatever. But anyway, Cyborg 009, it's pretty sick. I really like it, and I think people should watch it if they're kind of into that old school like tokusatsu robot shit, you know. Like, and what's really cool about the 2001 version too is it's a little more real. It's a little more like because it was able to be told in a modern storytelling way, and
as
some
opposed
of the characters
to
pass.
the 60s version of what the future's supposed to be like.
Yeah,
which is like
exactly.
so
like,
not in the right direction at all.
Their guns are all round and weird and like long.
Hey,
and they're like
Star Trek predicted cell phones, so don't be shitting on that.
No, it didn't.
Don't be.
Star Trek.
No,
Dude,
it
they had
didn't.
cell phones in Star Trek.
No, those things were cloud-based devices. They never had a personal computer, which is what a cell phone is.
Oh, okay, whatever. Yeah, same fucking thing though.
I think if you're into that kind of old school shit, like and and then you kind of like that twist of the modern storytelling. Like every character's got like some characters have like a past where like 009 he was an orphan, and he remembers things from when he was a child and
Was he
growing up was kind
iron-blooded?
of hard. Okay, shut the fuck up just for just a second.
No, he's iron-bodied. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So like he he kind of remembers growing up kind of harsh, and then like 002, like he was a pilot back in the day and all this stuff. Like it's kind of cool to like hear their stories and see where they come from. There's 51 episodes, so like I think there's 2 seasons of 20 some each. But the episode 50 and 51 are technically like OVAs, like they're not really part of it, so you really only need to watch up to 49. But I mean, it is part of it, but it's kind of like whatever. You could go without watching it. So I recommend watching that. But also, they did come out with, in 2000, I gotta look at the year, 2012, they came out with this movie called 009 Re-Cyborg, which was a reboot.
Out of all the different kinds of re-subtitles that you could use, Re-Cyborg is a little out there.
Re-Cyborg yourself right now. But like, it was another reboot in the form of a film, and I've seen some of it. I haven't watched all of it yet. I kind of fell asleep because it was late, but I will rewatch it.
You mean because it was
boring? The beginning was a little. The beginning was a little boring. It kind of was. I'm not gonna lie. It's only an hour and a half, but it's got an average score on Mal. I think it's like 6 something. But
No, for now that's a death sentence, man.
Yeah, I'll try and watch it again. I don't know. What I like about it, though, is the redesign of the characters. And what I like about it is that it's completely CGI, but it's done at 3 frames per second.
Is it CGI or is it digital art?
No, it's CGI.
So it's like 3D models.
Yes, but it's done like how, if you've ever played, well, you probably haven't, but if you've ever seen gameplay of Guilty Gear Xrd, which is a fighting game, when you're in a match, it looks like it's 2D, but it's actually not. It's 3D. But it's just the way that they're animated, it makes it look that way.
Yeah, really good shaders.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like if it's kind of like that, and there's like a motion blur on the whole movie, so it looks pretty cool. But yeah, the beginning of it was kind of boring, and it was late at night, so I fell asleep. Just recently, though, in November 2015. They came out with Cyborg 009 versus Devilman. And if you know what Devilman is...
Devilman.
You know that this
an evil
is like...
man?
It was like an OVA. It was 3 episodes. And this was just like a huge, like, shout out to the retro, And like, so Devilman was an anime back in... Oh, man.
Let's look it up.
The 70s, I think? 1972, 1970...
I think it had some
74?
remakes and shit.
The
too.
golden
That's
age
fine.
Oh
of
yeah,
anime.
no. Yeah, it's had a ton of remakes. It's had a ton.
All you have
I
to say is
remember-
that show was from the golden age of anime, and you'll always be right.
It's from the golden age of anime.
Yeah. 1930s.
Got it. But the same guy who did like Mazinger Z did Devilman and
Yeah.
stuff. But
It was
anyway,
from the 70s, early 70s.
yeah, so they made a Cyborg 009 versus Devilman. What's kind of weird about it is that it's in a different animation style than the Re-Cyborg movie, and the Re-Cyborg movie is a different animation style than the previous versions, so they look all completely different again. But I've seen the trailer like a couple times, and it looks pretty sick, so I might watch that too. But if you're a big fan of, if you just want to watch a movie that's like a big like nod to the OG, then I would say watch it. I'm gonna watch it probably this weekend just to see what it's all about because I like Devilman too. I would say if you're gonna watch Cyborg 009, watch the 2001 version called The Cyborg Soldier, or watch the 1968 version if you're like into that kind of stuff. Like I love black and white stuff a lot, so yeah, dude, Cyborg 009. Catch it on Toonan.
Now I want to go back to
After
this because I
school.
think you mentioned it, and we just kind of skipped over it a little too quick. That whole thing that I really love as a concept that I'm not sure how much I'd enjoy actually watching it, but the one movie was done at like 3 frames a second, even though
the Re-Cyborg
even though
movie.
they had the technology to easily do it at 24.5 whatever the fuck number it is nowadays.
It looks really cool.
Because I'd imagine
And
it
if
like
you've-
is great for a nostalgic feel, and it might kind of like when you're watching it, kind of feel a little odd. But I imagine some people watching it just be like, "What the fuck's with this frame rate? This is pieces of shit." Even though it was
Piece of
done
Slower
that like
frame rate, the better,
done
man.
that way
a piece
because
of
way
shit.
back in the 70s and 80s, that was
Fuck
like
salt.
how fast they animated things.
Right.
Dude, it's all about cost cutting, man. They don't got deep pockets like Disney. They gotta fucking scrape they gotta look in the couch
Except
for
when
pennies
you're doing
and shit.
CG already, you just check a box to do more frames a second. That's all you do.
Yeah, I don't know.
They probably
Yeah,
ended up-
I know CG looks good if you're like Pixar, but if you're fucking anime Japan, like it looks garbage. It's weird because like isn't CG is like cheaper than regular animation, but it's more expensive if you want it to be good. I don't know how that works.
Well, it's
Correct me if I'm wrong.
the big thing is that you don't need as many people, and yeah, it's cheaper because one, like an animation can do a shit ton of frames instead of having individual people draw every single frame.
But it's got like,
And it has
I'm
nothing to do
saying
with
if you want it
Japan.
to be the
Japan
quality
knows how to
of-
do good CG. It's just
Yeah, but that's expensive. If
Yeah.
you want it to be really good, it's more expensive. And then at that point, you might as well just hand draw it or whatever they do nowadays.
well, not always.
like
There's
a-
still things like Final Fantasy, Spirits Within,
God, that movie was so bad.
or what is it? Man, I'm pretty sure this was done by a Japanese studio. The Starship Troopers 4th movie. I feel like it was done by Square Enix or somebody like that. It had that kind of look to it, but it could have just been an American company that did it. Who knows?
So how'd you
Yeah.
Nabisco rate it, Sam?
Oh, Nabisco scale.
Where's that scale at? Let's find
Where's
it.
that? I need
Just
to
do
find
it from memory.
Let's see. I give it a solid teddygram. It's
Nice.
Teddy Grahams?
Nice.
No, well, no. I guess I was trying to say that from like the generalized consensus. If I were to personally give it, me personally, straight up honey made, close to Chips Ahoy, just because I'm just a big fan of the OG.
The OG.
And that's I like that shit. Like the bad guy makes sacrifices, or the good guy makes sacrifices beats the bad guy. You got your friends with you, your robot friends who got
And
fucked
the
up
stakes
lives
are
and they're
high.
fucked up. The stakes are
Yeah.
high and shit. But no, even so, like, I like the OG. So I give it a honey made for sure.
Nice. Dude, speaking of Honey Maid, there's a character in Space Dandy named Honey.
Speaking
Yeah.
of Space Dandy,
Is
Yes.
she a maid? Is she a maid?
No.
Damn it.
She's a waitress.
at boobies.
But yeah, should I start talking about it or what? Yeah, Space
well,
Dandy.
yeah, we're done.
Go for
with
it.
Cyborg.
Do it.
All right,
Do it
Space
now.
Dandy is fucking great. It's a 2014 anime from Studio Bones. It aired last year,
Bones.
or whatever, last couple years ago.
Bones.
It's the first anime to come out simultaneously dubbed, or it aired in English before it aired in Japanese, as far as I know. So it's the first anime to do that, and it kind of like started that trend of, the what do they call that? Where they dub
Simuldub.
shows. Yeah, simulcast where they dub it like 4 weeks afterwards. Except Space Andy.
I don't know why I said simuldub and then you said something else entirely.
Simulcast, simuldub, whatever.
Simulcast is when it's just the same thing. This is simuldub. It has a dub at the same time.
Anyway, Space Dandy. It's about a dandy guy in space, according to the narrator. It's made by the same creator as Cowboy Bebop, Shinichiro Watanabe.
Shinichiro Watanabe.
Shinichiro Watanabe. And then
And
also,
really quick, I just gotta interject. Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, honestly, some of my favorites. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean you'd love Space Dandy too. Space Dandy is kind of similar to those. It just takes the comedy elements. It flips around the seriousness and the comedy. So Cowboy Bebop has a little bit of comedy, a lot of serious. Flip it around, that's Space Dandy.
Yeah.
So
with very
Dandy,
similar concepts too.
Sort of, yeah. They have like a lot of these short story episodes that are loosely connected or not connected. And so that really helps with the comedy. So you can just watch any episode of Space Dandy whenever you want. It's one of those shows you can just watch it anytime. Whatever mood you're in, you might find an episode that you'll like. And it's cool because like some shows people agree like, oh, the best episode is episode 5, blah blah blah. But for Space Dandy, it's going to be all over the place. Like my favorite episode could be your least favorite episode, and vice versa.
It's just like really versatile, like.
Yeah, like it has a little bit of everything.
I can see that. That's like Eureka 7 AO in the last episode. That's obviously the best episode.
Oh my god. Here we go.
Because it's done. You just don't have to kill yourself.
Because that shit ain't airing anymore. Oh my god. It's such a bad show.
Oh my god.
But anyway,
go ahead,
Space Dandy.
Space Dandy. So yeah, like the main character is Dandy. He's like this groovy, like lovable oaf who thinks he's the shit, but he's really just like not very kind of incompetent. He's
like
kind
Johnny
of a mixture.
Bravo?
Yeah, no, it's Johnny Bravo in space, literally. Yeah, he's a mixture of like Han Solo, Zap Brannigan, and
Zap Brannigan.
Like
Brannigan's Law.
And some Spike.
Yeah, and like the Fonz, like from Happy Days, kind of. But because he's got the pompadour.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like Space Dandy, like the basic premise of the show is he's a bounty hunter, or he not really a bounty hunter, but he captures aliens and
sells them,
makes
as
them
sex
register.
slaves.
No, well, I don't think
To
it is.
Boobies,
Unless that
the
show.
restaurant.
They could do a spinoff. He captures aliens and registers them, and then gets paid for it. And then he goes to Boobies, which is it's like space Hooters.
It's just straight up called Boobies.
It's called Boobies, and the space station looks like boobs.
That's like an idiocracy joke.
Yeah, it's just like a really like surface level joke. It's just stupid and it's
like
fun.
it was called
God,
Hooters,
like...
and then people were too stupid to get what it was referencing, so they just changed the name until people figured it out.
Oh my god, it's like a homonym. Like it's the same backwards and forwards.
It's like, oh my god.
What?
All right, go ahead, Nick. It's a homonym. Her ambergram.
Homonym?
Space homonym.
metaphor?
Space Homera?
Space
Dude,
homonym.
I would want to go to Boobies. Who wants to go to Boobies?
Dude, it's great.
I
There's
would
like
be up to go
boobies,
to
man.
If it's the restaurant at the end of the universe, I'm down.
I mean, they got them all over the place. Boobies everywhere.
I mean,
honestly, I'd rather go to the one by Saturn though, because the one by Pluto sucks.
just don't get the soup. Just don't get the soup.
Oh, speaking of soup, there's a whole episode of Space Dandy where they just try to get this like cup of ramen. They're just like,
Are you serious?
they're like, fuck, we got to get this really freaking good ramen.
Is it Maru-chan?
And they go into this. They
Would
go into
you-
this like other portal, other dimension, and like there's this old alien. He's like, I've been here for 10,000 years, and like he's just making ramen, and he's sending it through like this wormhole, and he's like, yeah, by the time it gets there, it's a little bit stale.
Would you like? Would you?
sounds
Would you
brilliant.
like? Would you say that episode is like in the same realm as like the guy in Zombieland trying to find Twinkies? Like it's just like this quest.
Yeah, well,
Like-
dude, there's a literal zombie episode of Space Dandy. Like it has everything, man. Like there's an episode where everybody in the universe turns into a zombie.
Except the girls
what
of
the
boobies.
fuck?
No, everyone does.
Oh.
And it turns into like this utopia. It's like a weird
Dude,
utopia.
this sounds like my kind of show.
Because
I gotta watch
nobody's
this.
fighting to survive anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
I-
there's no wars, no disease, nothing. It's just all
I
zombies.
think
They eat
it's,
yogurt.
and I think it's really cool that Shinichiro Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Shinichiro Watanabe.
I think it's really cool that he came out with Space Dandy, because like Cowboy Bebop was like Samurai Champloo is less serious, but even Samurai Champloo by the second half of the anime, there was still some crazy shit, and it did get serious, and
Yeah.
there, and I think it speaks volumes when you can, not put yourself in a box as a creator and a writer, and
Yeah, like Makoto Shinkai.
It seems really
every
in
movie is 5 centimeters.
most ways is the anime version of Futurama.
Yeah, well, I mean, Space Dandy doesn't even feel like anime. It feels more like
What do you
Futurama.
mean? Futurama's already anime of all
anime
time.
is Futurama.
Yeah, exactly.
I fucked that up.
Futurama's like
Anime
Actually,
is
yeah,
Futurama.
Space Dandy is really comparable to Futurama. So if you like Futurama, you'll like Space Dandy.
I'm down.
I don't know which one I would say is better. Maybe Futurama, probably, just because there's more episodes and you can pick more things. But Space Dandy actually has like
and there's a satisfying
concepts.
relationship.
Do they have an episode where they try to get one of their long dead pets back, and then it gets sad as shit out of nowhere?
Oh, Jurassic Park.
No.
There is an episode where a dog dies. And that was sad, but it was the dog Laika from Sputnik 2, and they find it.
Laika?
And then there's
Laika?
like these Laika, I don't even know her.
God damn it.
There's like these little miniature aliens. They're called what are they called? Hold on.
The only
See, I'm gonna
Russian
find it.
space dogs Sam knows are Belka and Strelka because they were in Little Busters.
Yeah, so there's these little tiny aliens
saying.
that get lost in Dandy's hair. They're like little green men, and they're called Machinians, and they call themselves the last of the Machinians. And I'm just like, oh, it's the last of the Mohicans. And-
Last of Mohicans.
But dude, they have
Reference
references
humor.
like that. Every episode's got like these references. You don't even need to know them, but it just makes it better.
I feel
they do
like-
they got a Groundhog's Day episode. They got a Grease episode where they sing in high school. Like
What the fuck?
it's fucking.
I
great.
feel like
Yeah.
Shinichiro Watanabe was just like, you know what? Fuck this. Man, I'm gonna make some shit. Like, fuck you
Some
guys.
shit.
I'm just gonna make this thing and put whatever the fuck I want in it. Like, because like
Dude,
Cowboy
yeah.
Bebop, right? Cowboy Bebop was like with cowboys in the future with jazz music.
Did you happen to watch
And
the
then Samurai-
dub or the sub? Nick?
Cool. I'm glad I fucking finished. Like,
dub
what I
of
was
everything. No, Space Dandy dub is godly. It's like
Well, I
one of the
mean-
best dubs, just because like the way that it fits with the animation. They did the dubbing at the same time as the subbing, so they had access to all the parts they needed to make it good. Because some shows dubs look really weird, like the lip flaps don't match and all that.
The lip
But
flaps
Space
are all
Dandy, it's
exactly
really
the same,
good.
so that's not a difference.
Well, I know, but like they'd have to change meanings and like sentences sometimes because it doesn't.
That's what they
work.
still have to do with Space Dandy.
I know, but like I'm saying, it looks. There's like a weird. Like they have to synchronize it the right way, and if they don't do it right and they don't have like the master file, it's harder. That's what I know. I could be wrong about that, but in any case, the dub is really good, and I would always suggest to
I
watch the
don't know.
dub
I
for Space
was watching
Dandy.
some of the clips, and they didn't look that great. But I guess in terms of content, they're very much comparable, and they replaced some more Japanese jokes with English comparable jokes.
Yeah, it's a different show. There's a lot of shows like that. I think Sergeant Frog and some other ones have that, where like
And Ghost Stories.
dub versus sub is just Ghost Stories.
It's a completely different
It's a
show.
completely
Ghost
different
Stories
show, yeah.
is absolutely phenomenal in the dub. I
Oh my
love that show.
Everybody
it is
should
so
watch it.
freaking great.
And it's on Crunchyroll, guys.
I was crying
Oh,
for
man.
that. So good. But
But yeah, like, I like that. Like, so Cowboy Bebop, like, they're in Samurai Champloo were super conceptual. Like Cowboy Bebop was cowboys in the future with jazz music, and Samurai Champloo was samurais in the past with hip hop. And then he just was coming out, and he was just like, "Yeah, here's Space Dandy. I don't fucking know what it is.
It's
Just watch it."
Futurama, the anime.
no, he gets
the movie, the game.
he gets Masaaki Yuasa who made Kaiba, Mind Game, Tatami Galaxy, stuff like that. Like some really weird shows that are also really good, and like Ping Pong. Everyone's heard of Ping Pong, the animation. He gets them to do some of those episodes and help with it, and like some of his helpers or assistants or co-directors also helped. And like there's some really cool concepts in the show. There's one episode where Dandy gets a flashlight that can
A
like
flashlight.
teleport. No, it's a flashlight that can
A
teleport
fleshlight?
anything to like another location. So he shines it on his head, and his head gets transported to this planet, and it's just his head. And like this planet's like this weird. It's like this shittily animated. It almost looks like an early like Microsoft desktop type thing. And there's like there's this fish that's talking to him and just running around on the planet. And what is it? The planet actually is originally it was made out of a tree, and then the tree got burned down because a sun orbited nearby and it just set the whole planet on fire. So like it's a hollow planet, and he's there, and like they zoom they flashlight his whole body back onto it, and he's just like laying down. He's just like, yeah, good things happen if you just chill, bro.
I really like that story better if it was a fleshlight that if you stick things inside it, it teleports them.
Things like what, Quokka?
I just think that's funnier than shining the flashlight on stuff.
What would you stick into?
I see how
Quokka,
they could
why does
have gotten
everything
away
gotta
with
turn
that.
into like a sexual pervy thing with you when we're talking? Like,
No, it has nothing to do with sexual.
Life is sexy, man.
It's just funnier.
I mean, what else would you stick into a fleshlight?
well,
That's what I
like,
want to know.
Like, one of us could go up to you and be like, "Hey, what's up, Quokka?" And you'll be like, "Yeah, I've had things up my butt. I loved it." Like that has nothing to do with nothing. Like, that's weird. You're weird.
He'd just look at you and be like, I have a 0-gauge butt plug in right now.
I have a 0-gauge.
Just completely deadpan, serious. Just look you right in the eyes. Just be like, I have a butt plug in right now.
Quokka has like a series of butt
case of
plugs
diarrhea.
of varying sizes.
Well, you got to work it
He has
up
to work his
from
way up.
small.
Like a champion, dude. It's like a shonen.
Yeah, I hang my
Gotta be like Goku, man. Just
There's a training
power up.
montage for it.
You're just like sitting up and down. God, that seems dangerous. But yeah, so Space Dandy.
Go from Space Dandy to butt plugs
Just gonna
back
read
to
off
Space
some quotes
Dandy.
here. Yeah, but like it's not all funny. There's some like serious episodes that can give you emotions other than giggling.
Giggling is an emotion.
Yeah, that's an emotion, dude. That's when you watch Moe.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's one where he goes onto this planet that's like a purgatory or a limbo, and he's like supposedly dead, but not dead, but he is dead.
But
You
he's
don't really
not
know.
dead.
And it's like this really like beautiful episode, and like it's just stuff like that makes Space Dandy great. It's not like
But people die when they're killed.
no, they don't, dude.
Aren't there
Space
two
Dandy
seasons
dies
of
in the
this
first
now?
episode. Yeah, there's 2 seasons. No, okay, so the first season of Space Dandy has some pretty good episodes. It's actually pretty good overall. The second season is actually way better than the first season. You can just watch any combination of episodes, really. The main story happens a couple times, and at the end of season 2, it explains like why he's able to do certain things and all that.
Because he's
But
the
yeah, like,
son
so-
of Zeus.
Yeah, no, he's not.
Oh. Because he has the fastest reflexes in the entire game.
No, he's son of Zeus because he likes the ladies. He's lecherous. I'm just thinking if you do. Oh, he surfs. Yeah, he like surfed between planets at one point. They go to this planet, and there's like they're trying to find this big giant mythical fish. It's what is it called?
The Salmon
It's
of Doubt.
Oh yeah, a Moonagi, and that's another one of those episodes where 2 planets like orbit each other, and one comes by the other one, and then like the fish transports from one planet to the other planet, and they're trying to catch it with like these little fishing poles. It's like the fish is like fucking a skyscraper. Like it's great, and he's dressed in a loincloth.
What?
Yeah, that's the Salmon of Doubt. It's orbiting Jupiter right now.
Yeah, I mean it's based on other mythologies and stuff. I don't know all this stuff, man, but there's a ton of
It's
references.
not really it's more of just a Hitchhiker's Guide joke, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean Space Dandy does a lot of those.
So what do you give it?
On the Nabisco scale.
Is there a boobies option?
Not yet.
Boobies.
Boobies out of 10.
You can
Boobies out
start
of 10.
tweeting at Nabisco that they need to create a product called Boobies.
Dude, I'll give it like a Nutter Butter. But that's just me, dude. Some episodes are like Oreos. Some episodes are like, Nilla Wafer maybe.
But
Nilla wafers suck.
No, they don't. God.
But you're saying
They're so
if
good.
somebody really likes Futurama, this would be like way up there on their list.
Yeah, if you like Futurama, Space Dandy's up your alley. Like, definitely check it out. I would say actually just everybody should just watch it. It has
Because
an episode
boobies.
that everybody's gonna like, even if you don't like some of the rest of them. And it's pretty funny. It's just light. You can watch it anytime.
And it having a pretty good dub makes it also easier to watch without necessarily needing to heavy focus on it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So final thoughts, anybody?
My final thought is that I'm a better death metal singer than Quokka. He doesn't know shit about metal.
I don't. All I know is baby metal.
Hey,
Which is not metal.
It is. It's
don't talk
kawaii
shit
metal.
about metal.
It's kawaii metal.
Doesn't fucking count.
It's
Don't
a
talk shit
genre of
about
metal.
No, it's fucking
Yes,
not.
it is. It's practically a subgenre of speed metal.
Dude, Space Dandy becomes a rock star at one point. He does. He sings with John Young Bosch.
It's just like, this is just getting more amazing. Like, every time you say something about
Like, oh yeah, and Space Dandy is more amazing than you thought it was before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, and the guy who's his partner is John Young Bosch, and his character's name is Johnny.
Oh, it's classic.
It's funny.
Nice.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Boobies, and also the Booty, because Dandy likes both.
He's
He
equal
likes
opportunity.
The boobies and the booty.
You want me to read the quote that he says in
No.
episode 1? I'm just gonna read off
No.
quotes and like,
Is it a psalm length quote?
kinda.
No,
Yeah, it's pretty
no.
long.
So
So in other words, it's about half the length of my dick.
So yeah, if you have not already, which you probably haven't because you've been listening to this podcast, be sure to check out our YouTube channel, yt.animesummit.net. We'll be putting up video versions of our podcast every week, highlight videos, some reviews and stuff. We're gonna be trying to make that thing like legit as fuck. It's gonna be the
For
greatest.
shizzle.
If you like the show, leave a review on iTunes so we can read it. It helps us
Yeah,
out a
we'll
lot.
We'll
and
read
it's
them on the
fun.
show.
We like
Ooh,
knowing that
put
there's
emojis,
actually
put
people out
emojis in
there
the
that
review. I
listen
wanna
to
see
us
that.
instead of just being numbers on the stats thing.
Yeah.
Whoever
like
comes
that-
up with the best meme is gonna get a prize.
Yeah, and also
Besides-
some of our Indonesian listeners, because apparently you're like our third biggest country in listeners, message us on Twitter or something.
Hit us up,
I got it.
dog.
It seems odd to me that Indonesia would be so high up on the list, but it is. So
Leave a review. We'll read it on the show, give you a shout out, and maybe send you a picture of my left titty.
we'll even read it if it's
fun.
in your native language, and we'll butcher it.
and butcher it.
Yeah, and I'm good.
Absolutely
I'm good
butcher
at
it.
reading. I'm good at reading Japanese names too. So like fucking.
Dude, yeah,
the
well,
same as
that's how
Indonesian, whatever.
Hey, Sam,
speak.
who did Space Dandy again?
Who did what?
Who did Space Dandy again?
Bones.
Shinichiro Watanabe.
So
Never gets old.
I've been Quokka. With me has been Mac, Nick, and Sam. And this has been the Anime Summit Podcast.
And I have also been Keiko Nobumoto.
If you like the show, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Anime Summit or leave a review on iTunes.